guys, Dungeon Master Mark. As promised, I wanted to do a couple more videos over the course of the next couple days. The first one I want to do is actually on one of the Pathfinder Tales books, Through the Gate in the Sea. Some of you have probably seen I've done reviews on some of the other Pathfinder Tales books. There's a lot of them from Dave Gross, Elaine Cunningham, Tim Pratt. This particular one's by Howard Andrew Jones. He actually did another book with some of the same characters. So you have Miriam, who is a human female captain of a ship who does like underwater salvaging. And then you have a lizard lizard person named Jekka. So first thing I want to say is this particular book, I love the novel. Very, very well written. If you're like me and you roleplay a lot, and if you're a GM, this is one of probably the better Pathfinder Tales books, especially from a GM's point of view. The book is very well written. You have tons of different places in the book that they explore. You have jungle, you have ruins, you have kind of like a tomb, you have a magical island, you have, I don't want to give too much away. You have things that are going to take place underwater, on ships, in cities. So lots of different places in the book. As far as characters, it's one of the few books I've ever read where it definitely shows kind of cultural differences. When we think like Pathfinder game or Dungeons & Dragons, normally you're thinking kind of from the viewpoint of a human, or maybe an elf, which pretty much the same, right? In this book, there are several parts where you're kind of put in the shoes of the lizard person, like how they understand human culture, things that they notice that's really strange to them. And it also shows you a little bit of prejudice, how like some of the people may call them like frillbacks, which is kind of a slang term in Pathfinder the world for what they call lizard folk. So it's definitely kind of eye-opening. It gives you a very different point of view, which I like. I really, really like that. Another thing I find interesting, right now I am running the Serpent Skull campaign, which takes place in the Inner Sea, near Smuggler Shiv. A couple times in the book, they mention Smuggler Shiv and Sargova, which is where a lot of the places in this book take place in. So if you're running a Serpent Skull campaign, or any type of Inner Sea campaign, you're going to find some really neat ideas for maybe like different types of ruins you might find in a certain area. And definitely some really, really good, interesting information about the lizard folk history that you might be able to tie that into your campaign. I've already written down while I was reading this book, because I read it the first time just to read it, kind of review it. Then I read it a second time, as horrible as it sounds, to steal ideas from it, because I have to give the author credit. Some very, very good campaign ideas. I'm not sure if he is a gamer himself, but I love the book. And I know I've said that like 4 times now, but a very, very good book. The other thing I want to mention is the kind of the way characters interact. I know a lot of people love the fact that George R.R. Martin in Game of Thrones has very strong female characters. This is one of those few books where, because the main protagonist obviously is female, they're not talking about her in bikini, chainmail, they're not talking about how sexy she is. They're talking about how calm she is, when the ship's under attack, how calm it is when monsters attack, which I like that. I like strong female characters. Another thing is the way her and the lizard folk, Jekka, relate to each other. Several times in the book, they talk about how Jekka, since he's a lizard folk, sees her as kind of an adopted sister. So he calls her my sister, she calls him my brother. So I think it's interesting, as being someone who plays Dungeons & Dragons, how if you have a companion or maybe a follower in your Dungeons & Dragons game, how that follower, they might not just see you as a friend, they might see you as something more than that. Not romantically, but just that there's different dynamics between those different cultures, even though it's a fantasy world. So overall, out of rating 1 to 10, 10 being the highest, I'm going to be honest, I would probably give this like a 9.5. There's maybe a couple things in the story I would finish. Towards the end of the book, there's a couple areas where I don't want to say it feels rushed, but it almost feels like they left it kind of open for a next book, which I'm fine with that. I wish there was a little more closure on certain things, but the storyline is very concise. I like how they develop the characters, and of course the quality of the book. I mean, anyone who's read any of the Paizo books or anything from Tor knows they make very, very good quality books. So it's not one of those things where you're going to read it one time and the book's going to fall apart. So yeah, so if you guys get a chance, definitely check out Through the Gate in the Sea. I have a couple other Pathfinder books I'm going to be reviewing soon as well. So stay tuned for those, and thanks for watching, guys. I'll talk to y'all later. Bye-bye.